You click a link, the page starts to load. 1 second, 2 seconds, 3, and suddenly your chest gets tight, your jaw clenches. You want to throw the phone across the room. 4 seconds, that is all it takes. You are not in danger. You are not starving. No one is threatening you. But your body doesn't care. Your body thinks something is very, very wrong. And the reason for that is older than language, older than fire, older than the idea of a minute. For 300,000 years, waiting was not empty time. Waiting was a weapon. A hunter waiting for a deer to step into the clearing was not bored. He was electric, fully alive, his senses stretched out like fingers into the forest. A mother waiting for her child to return from the trees was not scrolling. She was listening. Her heart was steady. Her body was ready. Every nerve was tuned to the environment. Because in the wild, waiting meant being present. It meant scanning for the tiniest change, the snap of a twig, a shadow shifting, a silence that was too heavy. There was no such thing as a delay. There was only the moment of readiness. The space between wanting something and getting it was not torture. It was the place where survival happened. You come from millions of people who waited like that, and their blood still runs through your veins. But the world you live in now has no room for that kind of waiting, and that is tearing your nervous system apart. We have built a world that hates waiting. We have killed it. We have buried it under one-click purchases, instant messages, and 5G. And in doing that, we have done something very strange to your brain. We have trained it that waiting is an error. When you were very young, maybe you learned that a microwave meant hot food in 2 minutes. Now 2 minutes feels like an insult. A text message you don't answer for 10 minutes, that can break a friendship. A website that takes 4 seconds to load, that is not just annoying. Your brain registers it as a malfunction, a threat, a broken promise. And here's the scary part. Your brain cannot tell the difference between a slow app and a missing alarm call in the wild. The exact same chemical spike, the exact same amygdala jolt, the exact same ancient voice that screams, "Something is wrong, pay attention, move, do something." All because a video took a breath before playing. What actually happens in your body when you wait? Your brain predicts when a reward is coming. When you click a video, your brain has already started to prepare the dopamine. It expects the reward immediately. If the reward comes instantly, everything is fine. The chemical loop closes. You feel a tiny flicker of satisfaction. But if there is a gap, a delay, even a few seconds, your brain does not relax. It spikes. That spike is called a prediction error, and prediction errors feel terrible. They feel like anger, like panic, like something is slipping away. Your heart rate goes up, your palms might sweat, your focus narrows to the point of pain. You are no longer a person waiting for a video. You are a hunter waiting for a sign, and the sign is not coming. And that moment, that tiny, unbearable gap, is the birthplace of modern rage. Not because you are an angry person, but because your body was designed to treat delays as danger. But waiting for a page to load is one kind of torture. Waiting for another person is something much deeper. You send a message, you see the little dots. They blink, they vanish. Minutes pass, no reply. And something inside you cracks. You feel exposed, stupid, rejected, maybe even abandoned. Why? Why does a text message delayed for 10 minutes feel like a small death? Because for most of human history, silence from your tribe was not nothing. Silence meant you were alone, and alone meant dead. If you were waiting for a hunting partner and they didn't appear, your brain did not think they were busy. It thought they were hurt or gone, or the group had moved on without you. So now when your phone stays quiet for 10 minutes, your ancient brain does not sit in a chair and think, they are probably just driving. It goes straight to the old fear, the fear of being left behind, the fear of being cast out, the fear of vanishing into the silence. The 3 dots are not dots. They are a heartbeat you are terrified will stop. There is a name for this pain. We have lost our tolerance for the space in between. That space between wanting something and having it, between asking and being answered, between impulse and relief. That space used to be filled with life, with breath, with noticing the world around you. Now it is filled with a screaming void. You cannot sit at a red light for 20 seconds without reaching for your phone. You cannot stand in an elevator without filling the silence with noise. You cannot wait for a friend to arrive without refreshing their location. And every time you kill the space, you teach your brain that the space is dangerous. You make yourself weaker, more fragile, a little less able to endure the simple, beautiful, ancient art of being still. You were not born this impatient. Nobody is. We bred it into ourselves with 1,000 small cuts of convenience. So what can you do? How do you unlearn a panic that feels as natural as breathing? First, you name it. Next time you feel the rage rise while a page loads, say to yourself, out loud or inside, "This is an old signal. This is not an emergency. I am safe." Second, you practice the gap. Do not pick up your phone. Let the waiting be. Breathe into it. Look at the world around you while you wait. What do you see? What do you hear? Your ancestors would have noticed the wind, the color of the sky, the sound of birds. They would have scanned the horizon, not because they were anxious, but because they were alive. You can do the same. The next time you wait for a reply, instead of refreshing the screen, look out the window. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice that you are still here, still breathing, still part of a tribe that exists beyond that tiny glass rectangle. Because here's the secret that the loading screen tried to hide from you. Waiting is not a gap in your life. Waiting is your life. Every moment between things is where you actually exist. The pauses between words, the silence after a question, the stillness before a meal. If you can learn to be present in those spaces, something remarkable happens. The anger fades. The panic loosens its grip. You stop being a slave to the next ping, the next video, the next fix. You start to become a human being again, a patient, watchful, ancient animal who knows how to sit in the long grass and simply wait, not because something is about to happen, but because the waiting itself is enough. The world will keep getting faster. The loading bars will get shorter. The replies will get quicker. The expectations will get heavier. But underneath all of that noise, there's a quiet, steady pulse, a heartbeat that remembers how to wait, a mind that does not need to panic, a soul that knows the space between things is not empty. It is full, full of breath, full of life, full of you. So the next time the dots blink and the screen freezes, take one deep breath and welcome the pause. You are not broken. You are just a hunter who forgot what the stillness was for.